Hi guys, this is second part of the Microsoft AG104 examination guide. This is a series of question answer of Microsoft Azure Administrator examination. So let's begin with the question number first. Here is the question. You have an Azure subscription that contains a virtual network named VNet1 in the East US region. You have the following resources in Azure Resource Manager template. That is the template which is in the JSON format, which have key and values pair, and that is the API version, and that is the details of that API version, and this is the properties and OS profile. And we see next, for each of the following statement select yes if the statement is true. Here is the given statement, we choose the which statement is right or wrong. So here first statement is VM1 and VM2 can connect to VNet1, that is the right, so we select yes. If next one is the if an Azure data center becomes unavailable, VM1 or VM2 will be available, that is absolutely right, so yes. And third one is the if the East US 2 region becomes unavailable, virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2 will be available, that is no, that is wrong. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription named subscription 1. Subscription 1 contains the resource group in the table, that is the name of the resource group and that is the location of the resource group, and these are the policies which are applies on the resource groups. So here is the question asked, resource group 1 RG1 has the web app named web app 1. Web app 1 is located in West Europe. You move web app 1 to RG2. What is the effect to the move? So here right answer is the app service plan for web app 1 remains in the East Europe. Policy 2 applies to web app 1. So here policy 2 applies to web app 1. So explanation is that you can move an app to another app service plan as long as the resource plan and the target plan are in the same resource group and geographical region. The region in which your apps running in the region of the app service plan it is in. However, you cannot change an app service plan's region. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription named subscription 1 that has a subscription ID. This is the subscription ID of Azure. You need to create custom RBAC role named CR1 that meets the following requirements. Can be assigned only to the resource group in subscription 1. Second one is it prevents the management of the access permission for the resource group. Third one is the allows the viewing, creating and modifying and deleting of resources within the resource group. So here what should you specify in the assignable scopes and the permissions elements of the definition of CR1 to answer, select the appropriate answer and yeah. So here answer will be assignable scope is assigned to the subscription ID / resource group. This is the right format of assignable scope. Second one is the permission, that is the Microsoft authorization permission. That is the authorization, that is the that means the access have access or not access level permission on that user. So next, you have an Azure subscription. User access the resources in the subscription from either home or from customer sites. From home, user must establish a point to site VPN to access the Azure resources. The user on the customer sites access the Azure resources by using the site to site VPNs. You have a line of business app named app1 that runs on several Azure virtual machines. The virtual machines run Windows Server 2016. You need to ensure that the connection of app1 are spread across all the virtual machines. What are the two possible Azure service that you can use? So here is the two possible answer is an internal load balancer And second one is an Azure application gateway. Explanation is that a line of business app are custom app that are used by internal staff members only. So here answer is A and E. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription that you have 100 Azure virtual machines. You need to quickly identify underutilized virtual machines that can have their service tier changed to a less expensive offering. Which blade should you use? So here we identify which device is virtual machine is underutilized, so we reduce our expenses, go through with advisor blade. Advisor blade. Here explanation is the advisor helps you to optimize and reduce your overall Azure spend by identifying idle and underutilized resources. You can get cost recommendation from the cost tab on the advisor dashboard. So next one is you have an Azure Active Directory tenant. You need to create a conditional access policy that requires all users to use multi-factor authentication when they access the Azure portal. Which three settings should you configure to answer? Select appropriate setting in the answer area. So that is the dashboard in which we should these three settings are enabled. That is the user and groups and cloud apps and grant access in the access control and assignments group. So right answer is that three section. Next one is you have an Azure Active Directory tenant named contoso.on microsoft.com. The user administrator role is assigned to user named admin1. Here an external partner has a Microsoft account that uses the user1@outlook.com sign in. Admin1 attempts to invite the external partner to sign in the Azure AD tenant and receives the following error message. Here message is the unable to invite user1@outlook.com. A generic authorization exception. So you need to ensure that admin1 can invite the external partner to sign in the Azure AD tenant. What should you do? So here we should do from the user blade modify the external collaboration setting. So modify external collaboration setting, we can achieve that goal. You have an Azure subscription that contains a user account named user1. You need to ensure that user1 can assign a policy to the tenant root management group. So what should you do? So here answer is the option number B. Assign the owner role for the Azure subscription to user1 and then instruct user1 to configure access management for Azure resources. So answer is B. Next one is you have an Azure Active Directory tenant named adatum.com. Adatum.com contains the groups in the following table. Here is the name of the groups and groups types, and that is the membership type. After that, the membership rule which is apply on the group. You create two user accounts that are configured as shown in the following table. That is the user groups. That is the user1 and that is city, department and office license which is assigned to that users. To which group do user1 and user2 belongs? So we look at the answer. Here is the user1 belongs to the group 1 only and user2 belongs to group 1 and 2 only according to these questions. Next one is you have a hybrid deployment of Azure Active Directory that contains the user shown in the following table. Here is the name of the user and this is the type of the users and this is the source. So you need to modify the job title and users location attribute for the user. For which user can you modify the attributes from Azure Active Directory? So here for job title user1 and user3 only. For job title user1 and user3 only. For users location user1, 2 and 3. For users location 1, 2, 3. You need to ensure that an Azure Active Directory AD user named admin1 is assigned the required role to enable traffic analytics for an Azure subscription. Here is the solution: is you assign the network contributor role at the subscription level to admin1. Does this meet the goal? Yes, this met the goal. Here explanation is that your account must meet one of the following to enable traffic analytics. Your account must have any one of the following as your role at the subscription scope. That may be owner, contributor, reader, or network contributor. So next, you need to ensure that an Azure Active Directory user named admin1 is assigned the required role to enable traffic analytics for an Azure subscription. Here is the solution is that you assign the owner role to the subscription level to admin1. Does this meet the goal? Here this is the yes. Explanation is that your account meet one of the following enabled traffic analytics. Your account must have any one of the following Azure roles at the subscription scope, that is the owner, contributor, reader, or network contributor, which is also explained in the previous questions. So we go for next. You need to ensure that an Azure Active Directory user named admin1 is assigned the required role to enable traffic analytics for an Azure subscription. Here is the solution: is you assign the reader role at the subscription level to admin1. Does this meet the goal? Yes. Next one is you have an Azure subscription that contains an user named user1. You need to ensure that user1 can deploy virtual machine and manage virtual networks. The solution must use the principle of least privileges. Which role based access control should you assign to user1? So here we should assign user1 virtual machine contributor, which manage virtual network and virtual machines and can deploy virtual machine. That is enough for the user1. Here explanation is that virtual machine contributor is your manage virtual machine but not access to them and not the virtual network or storage account they are connected to. So here next one is you have an Azure Active Directory tenant that contains the three global administrator named admin1, admin2, and admin3. The tenant is associated to an Azure subscription. Access control for the subscription is configured as shown in the access control exhibit. So here is the snaps of that question. Here owner is the admin third, that is roles assigned to owner, and scope is this resource, and type is user. So we go for the right answer. Here also another snaps is that name is contoso either at outlook, and that is the directory ID, and for each of the following statements select yes. That is a statement type question. Here first statement is that admin1 can add admin2 as an owner of the subscription, that is no. Admin3 can add admin2 as owner of the subscription, that is absolutely right, so yes. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription named subscription1 that contains an Azure virtual machine named virtual machine 1. Virtual machine 1 is in a resource group named RG1. VM1 runs services that will be used to deploy resources to resource group 1 RG1. You need to ensure that service running on VM1 can manage the resources in resource group 1 RG1 by using the identifier of VM1. What should you do first? So here we should do from the Azure portal, we modify the managed identity setting of VM1. So through this statement we can achieve our goal. So here explanation is that managed identity for Azure resource provides Azure services with an automatically managed identity in Azure Active Directory. You can use this identity to authenticate to any service that support Azure AD authentication. Without having credential in your code, you can enable and disable the system assigned managed identity for virtual machine using the Azure portal. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription that contains resource group named test rg. You use test rg to validate an Azure deployment. Test rg contains the following resources. Here is the name of resources, and that is the types of resources, and that is the description of those resources. Here VM1 is running and configured to backup to Vault 1 daily. So you need to delete r test rg. What should you do first? So here answer is the turn off VM1 and remove the resource lock from VNet1. So here VNet1 have a lock. So before we have to that action, we remove this lock on the VNet1. So turn off VM1 and remove the resource lock from VNet1. We can achieve that goal. Here explanation is that when you delete a resource group, all the resources are also deleted. Deleting a resource group deletes all of its templates, deployment and currently stored operations. Next one is the you need to configure the device setting to meet the technical requirement and the user requirements. What two settings should you modify? Here is the answer is that snaps select user may join device to Azure AD, that is selected, and additional local administrator on Azure AD join device, that is also selected. So that answer right answer is selected and selected. Next one is the you have an Azure storage account named storage1. You plan to use AG copy to copy data to storage1. You need to identify the storage service in storage1 to which you can copy the data. What should you identify? Answer here answer is the AZ copy is command line utility that you can use to copy blob or files to or from a storage account. So through this option number B, blob and files, that is enough. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription that contains an Azure storage account. You plan to create an Azure container instance named container1 that will use Docker image named image1. Here image1 contains a Microsoft SQL Server instance that requires persistent storage. Here you need to configure a storage service for container1. What should you do? Answer is the Azure Table Storage, that is the option number D. Here answer is option number D. Next one is you have an app named app1 that runs on two Azure virtual machine named VM1 and VM2. You plan to implement an Azure availability set for app1. The solution must ensure that app1 is available during planned maintenance of the hardware hosting VM1 and VM2. What should you include in the availability set? So here we should deploy two update domains so that we can achieve our goal. Whenever any update and maintenance going on, we should use two update domains. So explanation is that Microsoft updates, which Microsoft refers to an planned maintenance event, sometimes require that virtual machines be rebooted to complete the updates. To reduce the impact on virtual machines, the Azure Fabric is divided into updates domain to ensure that no all virtual machines are rebooted at the same time. So we achieve our goal through this. So next one is the you have an on-premises servers that contains a folder named D folder 1. You need to copy the contents of D folder 1 to the public container in an Azure storage account named contoso data. So which command should you run? So here for copy data from one folder from one folder to same folder, we should use option number 2, that is az copy d folder 1. So here explanation is that the az copy command copies a directory and all of the file in that directory to a blob container. That result is a directory in the container by the same name. So next one is you have an Azure subscription named subscription 1 that contains the storage account shown in the following table. Here is the name of the storage and that is the kind of the storage and that is the Azure service that contains data, which types of data Azure container contains. So you plan to use the Azure import export service to export data from subscription 1. You need to identify which storage account can be used to export the data. What should you identify? So here storage 4 is the right answer. Storage 4 is the blob types of storage, blob storage. Next one is you have an Azure subscription that contains the storage account shown in the following table. Here is the name of the storage and that is the types of storage, and this is the performance types of storage. Here is the replication type, from which types of replication apply on that storage, and this is the access tier. You need to identify which storage account can be converted to Zone redundant storage replication by requesting a live migration from Azure support. What should you identify? Here right answer is storage 2. Storage 2 is the kind of general purpose v2, that is the performance type is the standard, and replication time is the LRS, that is the locally redundant storage, and access tier is that pool. So explanation is that JDAR has currently supported a standard general purpose v2 and file storage and blob storage account types, that is the JDAR has currently accept. You have an Azure subscription that contains a Azure account named account 1. You plan to upload the disk files of a virtual machine to account 1 from your on-premises network. The on-premises network uses a public IP address space of 131.107.10.25.24. You plan to use the disk file to provision an Azure virtual machine named VM1. VM1 will be attached to virtual network named VNet1. Here VNet1 uses an IP address space 192.168.0.0/24. So you need to configure account to meet the following requirement. Here is the requirement is 3. First one is the ensure that you can upload the disk file to account 1. Second one is ensure that you can attach the disk to VM1. Third one is prevent all other access to the account 1. So which two actions should you perform? So here we should perform the action from the firewall A and E, that is from the firewall and virtual network blade of the account 1. Select selected networks, and E option is that from the service endpoint blade of VNet1 at the service endpoint. Through these 2 points we achieve our requirements. You have an on-premises file server named server1 that runs Windows Server 2016. You have an Azure subscription that contains an Azure file share. You deploy an Azure file sync storage sync service and you create a sync group. You need to synchronize files from server 1 to Azure. Which 3 actions should you perform in sequence? Here 3 options are here in the given question. 5 options I think available, which have you need to choose 3 options only in a sequence manner. That is the right. Here I write the answer, that is step 1. First one is the install the Azure file sync agent on server 1. Step 2nd is the register that server 1, and step 3rd is the add the server endpoint. Through these 3 points in a sequence manner we can achieve our goal which is given in this question. So next one is you plan to create an Azure storage account in the Azure region of East US2. You need to create a storage account that meets the following requirements: replicates synchronously, remains available if a single data center in the region fails. How should you configure the storage account? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. So here I directly write the answer, which is the replication is comes under the zone redundant storage, and storage kind is the storage v2, that is the general purpose v2. Next one is the here is some remembering point, that is the first one is the zone redundant storage. ZRS replicates your data synchronously across 3 storage clusters in a single region. Next one is the LRS would not remain available if a data center in the region fails. GRS and RA, GRS use synchronous replication. ZRS only support GP2, GPv2. Here next one is the you have an Azure storage account named storage 1 that uses Azure blob storage and Azure file storage. You need to use AZ copy to copy data to the blob storage and file storage in storage 1. Which authentication method should you use for each types of storage? So here I also write the answer directly. Here blob storage is the Azure Active Directory and shared access signature. Only these two applies on the blob storage, and file storage shared access signature only applies on the file storage. So right answer is that. Next one is you should remember these points. You can provide authorization credential by using Azure Active Directory or by using a shared access signature token. Next one is the Azure Active Directory and shared access signature tokens are supported for blob storage. Third one is the here 3 options are you can provide authorization credential by using Azure Active Directory AD or by using a shared access signature token. Second one is the Azure Active Directory AD and shared access signature tokens are supported for blob storage. Only shared access signature tokens is supported for file storage. So that is the SAS is only supported to the file storage, and in the blob storage SAS and AD both are supported. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription named subscription 1 that contains the resources shown in the following table. That is the names of resources, that is the types of resources, which is the groups and other types of resource types, and that is the locations where the resources and groups are deployed, and then this is the resource groups in which resources are grouped. So you plan to configure Azure backup report to Vault 1. You plan to Azure backup report for Vault 1, and you are configuring the diagnostic setting for the Azure backup report log. Which storage account and which log analytics workspaces you use for the Azure backup report of Vault? So answer is that a storage account. For a storage account we should select storage third, because we for Vault 1 here is the location of the Vault 1 in the West Europe, and storage third is also lies in the West Europe. So same regions we can make the backup. So that is the right answer. And next one is the log analytics workspace analytic third only, because here we can also see that log analytics third have it lies in the West Europe region, and Vault 1 is also lies in the West Europe, so that condition fulfill. So answer is analytic third for log analytic workspace. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription named subscription 1. In subscription 1 you create an Azure file share named share1. You create share access signature named SAS1 as shown in the following exhibit. Here is a allowed service that is the file service is allowed, and allow resource type is the services, container and object. Both these three types of allowed resources are allowed it. And here allowed permissions are on the resources file service have read permission and write permission, and the list permission is available. Here is the starting date and ending date, and here is the time. And allow IP addresses, this range from this range to this range IP address only perform the task. And here is the allowed protocols. So we go for answer here. And if and here is a will not access, because this is not access because this IP is not under comes under this IP range. And so here starting from 10 to 50, and here is the 1 from 1, so that will have no access. In the September 10 2018 you run the net use command. A computer that has an IP address 193.77.134.50, you use SAS1 as the password to connect to share1, will have read, write and list access, because that time is also lies and that IP is also lies, and SAS1 is also lies here. That is the that time date is lies between this time duration, and IP is also comes under this range of IP address, and that is the signing key is also from this SAS1. So that is right. Next one is the you have an Azure subscription that includes following: Azure file share, that is the name of file share, and in the storage account, and that is the location of that file share. You have an following: on-premises server, that is the name of the server, that is the folder of the server. You create a storage sync device, service name sync1, and Azure file sync group named group1. Here is the group1 uses share1 as a cloud endpoint. You register server1 and server2 in sync1. So you add a D folder on the server1 server endpoint of group1. For here a statement is that share2 can be added as a cloud endpoint for group1, that is the no. If folder 2 and server 1 can be added as a server endpoint for group1, that is right, and that is also right. A statement according to these questions. Here is the two points which should we remember, that these two points. Async group must contain one cloud endpoint which represent an Azure file share and one or more server endpoints. The second one is the yes, one or more server endpoints can be added to the sync group. That is right. Next question is that you have an Azure subscription and subscription 1. You create an Azure storage account named Contoso Storage, and then you create a file share named data. Here which UNC path should you include a script that reference file from the data file share to answer drag and drop. This is the drag and drop types answer where options are available, and you should drag and drop right answer. So here is the right format of the answer is that contoso storage.file.core.windows.net/data. Here is the example of that question. Here is the right format of that particular URL. So next one is you have an Azure subscription that contains an Azure storage account. You plan to copy an on-premises virtual machine image to a container named VM image. You need to create the container for the planned image. So here which command should you run? So right command is, here is a two option, two statement, that is right answer is make and block. So full statement is that az copy make, and then second one is https://mystorage-account.blob.core.windows.net/vm images. Next one is you have an Azure file sync group that has the endpoint shown in the following table. That is the table, and that is types of the endpoint. Cloud tiering is enabled for endpoint third. Cloud tiering is enabled for the this third point service server endpoint. You add file named file 1 to endpoint 1 and file named file 2 to endpoint 2, on which endpoint will file 1 and file 2 be available within 24 hours of adding the files. So here right answer is the file 1 is available within the 24 hours is the endpoint third only, and file 2 is available in the endpoint 1, 2 and 3 all the. Next one is you have an Azure storage accounts as shown in the following exhibit. That is the name of the storage account, and that is the types of the storage account and resources, that is which resource group I have assigned, and that is location and subscription and access tier and replication types. Use the drop down menus to select the answer choice to complete each statement. So then this is the drop down types question. So here I directly shown the answer. You can use storage account 1 and storage account 2 only for Azure table. Account 1, account 2, that is Azure table. You can use all the storage accounts for the Azure Blob Storage. For Blob storage types, you should all use all the types of device. These are the some points which you should remember. The three different storage accounts options are general purpose v2 accounts, general purpose v1 accounts, and blob storage account. Second one is the general purpose v2 accounts are storage account that support all the latest feature for blobs, files, queues and tables. Third one is the blob storage account supports all the same blob features as GPv2 but are limited to supporting only blobs. Fourth one is the general purpose v1 accounts provide access to all the resources Azure storage services but may not have the latest features of the lowest 4 gigabytes pricing. That is all AZ104 question second part, and thank you.